Colon. I did do the best rap albums at least of all time in the last one. But when I see like the shorts, it seems like everybody that really finds their way to finding this channel seems to be more in an innovative, geek kind of way of listening to the music itself. There were some videos that outperformed the other ones because of the hashtags of the artists that was used, such as a MF Doom, such a Kanye West, such a Tyler the Creator. No, that one that didn't do too good, to be fair. Which one else? The Denzel Curry. That one did fair enough. So I was saying, if y'all are innovative, let me try and do something that showcases the innovation in hip hop from different artists from all generations. Alright, so we talk about number 10. We talk about an album that kind of revisited what hip hop was made of in its earlier days with the DJ Kool Herc. As we talk about Introducing by DJ Shadow. While only using samples is how a DJ Kool Herc was even able to create the genre that became to be hip hop. DJ Shadow not having an MC on the album felt out of place at the time in the industry. Because in a time like 1996 where people are really like outside, there's a real culture in hip hop. It's not just people online talking like we do now, or like I do now especially. But like there was more parties, there was more like DJing was actually an element of hip hop, but that kind of exists, but only in the festival ways. Or at least that's how we're seeing it now. And with it being noted as hip hop's first fully sample based album, with there being no MC on there, Introducing it took an introspective approach into the vinyl culture, transforming it into something akin to ambient music, essentially making hip hop for listening and not for the parties. With this album itself. So that's its innovative ways. That's why it's at number 10, because it was just a revisit, but it was something different for the time. At number 9, we talk about Kid Cudi, Man on the Moon, End of Day. As the album was able to break new ground, openly discussing about mental health, loneliness, anxiety, depression. Themes that weren't commonly explored, at least at the time, especially in the mainstream. Tracks like Day and Night reflect on Cudi's internal struggles, which had paved the way for more emotionally open rap with the decades to come. Cudi's introspective and spacey sound directly influenced a new wave of artists, such as Travis Scott, who began to embrace similar themes of vulnerability, experimentation, and emotional exploration in their music as well. Now, this album can't always be number 1 on the list every time. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to sit rightfully at number 8. Intertwining Afrofuturist themes with jazz funk aesthetics that elevated rap to a new level. With the Soundwave production or live instrumentation on for free, where Kendrick was able to find a comfortable pocket to sit in as he raps over literal jazz, complex jazz. This doesn't only show how versatile the album is, but using like a pathetic fallacy in a musical term. By tone painting with the concept of each track, it's as if the album is its own score to its own movie. Alright, so at number 7, I never really talk about this album a lot. We're talking about Def Grips The Money Store. Combining abrasive techno with aggressive hip-hop vocals, which had blended genres in a way that hadn't been widely explored before, had created a unique sonic assault. With the involvement of all the members of Def Grips having differently distinct musical backgrounds, specifically Zach Hill, who gets production credits on the album with Andy Morin, which takes the album to its experimental, chaotic edge that pushes the boundaries of what was expected in hip-hop. The album hits you with a revival of subgenres from the 90s, electro lash, digital hardcore, in a new life to cater to the new generation. Despite extremely experimental sounds, The Money Store happens to be the group's major label debut, which was rare at the time, especially for an so abrasive. At number 6, we've got Danny Brown's Atrocity Exhibition. Brown's brutally honest lyrics about trauma, addiction, and self-destruction took listeners on a harrowing journey through his inner turmoil. Few rappers had approached these themes with such unfiltered, often uncomfortable candor, making it a stark contrast to the bravado traditionally associated with hip-hop. Throughout the album, Brown balances bleak narrative with dark humor, often delivering punchlines amid disturbing imagery. The unique juxtaposition created a complex emotional landscape where listeners laughed at what they also found unsettling. Like his previous work, Atrocity Exhibition played out as a nightmare-like disjointed diary. The album didn't follow a linear narrative, but rather immerse listeners in the fragmented thoughts of a hedonist, confronting the consequences of his lifestyle in surreal, almost nightmarish ways. Alright, number 5 is Madvillain by Madvillainy. Unlike most early 2000s hip-hop, Madvillainy's 22 tracks were not built around typical verse-chorus formats. Instead, they resembled sound collages, breaking traditional rules of structure. Both MF Doom and Madlib incorporated their alter egos in ways that blurred the lines between fiction and reality. On Fancy Clown, Victor Vaughn, Doom's alias, accuses Doom himself of stealing his girlfriend. An unusual meta-narrative in hip-hop. Songs like Shadows of Tomorrow paid homage to avant-garde jazz musician Sun Ra, weaving his cosmic philosophy into the fabric of hip-hop, blending genres in ways rarely attempted in mainstream music. MF Doom's rhymes range from absurd to political. His intricate wordplay and dense metaphors challenged listeners in ways typical rap didn't. And number 4, we got Yeezus by Kanye West. Ye fuses 80s acid house, Chicago drill, and 90s industrial music into hip-hop that had created a new sound for the mainstream rap that hadn't been explored at the level Yeezus was. Collaborating with the likes of Rick Rubin or Daft Punk, Ye strips the production down to its main essentials, embracing a minimalist approach, in most cases contrasting his prior maximalist efforts. The album features jump cut samples of Hungarian progression rock and obscure gospel recordings delivered in a way unexpected or cutting edge. Songs like I Am a God push boundaries not only in sound but in concept, as Kanye boldly positions himself as a deity figure in highly aggressive and confrontational manners. And songs such as Blood on the Leaves and New Slave show Ye's willingness to defy expectations and abandon conventional hip-hop structures, pushing forward a more abrasive, politically charged and avant-garde sound. So then finally in the top 3, we come to an Outkast album that many people would have wanted on More Than an Aquemini on the last video I did. Go check that out. But this time we're talking about innovation. So for the final 3, we got to talk about Stankonia by Outkast, as they obliterated genre boundaries. Tracks like B.O.B. mixed drum and bass with rap, while Miss Jackson fused glitchy futuristic production with soul. They created an album that ignored the distinctions between mainstream and underground, blending funk, soul, electronic, and even rock influences seamlessly. Even their most commercially successful track, Miss Jackson, defied expectations despite its popularity. It's a raw, introspective look at the fallout of a divorce, touching on family struggles and emotional complexity. Oh no, that's not a word. Touching on family struggles and emotional complexity, not often addressed so openly in mainstream hip-hop. Songs like Toilet T-shirt features slowed down heavy funk, and Humble Mumble delivered neo-soul with a unique twist. Outkast consistently experimented with the production and arrangements, making each track a fresh sonic experience. They continue to push Southern hip-hop into the spotlight, giving it a futuristic boundary push and twist that solidified their role as pioneers of the genre. Which is true, because if you look at one of the illest, I feel like even in its own way, Speaker Box and The Live Below is also ill too. But if we talk about Stankonia to the one before that was Aquemini, the one before that was 80 Aliens, I believe. Am I right about that? I'm trying to get it right. Yeah. 1994, not even 1996, which I thought it was. But 1994, they had 7 playlistic Cadillac music. And just from the 1994 run to the early 2000s, all of the Outkast albums prove why they are the best group. And if we want to talk about the best groups, duos in future video, then I'm gonna say the Migos, Wu-Tang Clan, and definitely Outkast is number 1. Alright, so last 2, man. And we gotta say something about T. We gotta say something about Tyler the Creator, because he's gotta be on the list when it comes to innovative. So being at number 2, we got Ego. Ego defied traditional genre classifications, blending elements of hip-hop, R&B, funk, and soul. Tyler's production leaned heavily on the synths and experimental beats, creating a unique sonic landscape that was unlike anything heard in the mainstream hip-hop. Tyler had moved away from his earlier, more aggressive rap persona and embraced a softer, more melodic approach. He focused on singing throughout the album, exploring vulnerability and love, which marked a stark departure from the rebellious, provocative MC he once was. The album is a conceptual journey about unrequited love, heartbreak, and self-discovery. This thematic focus, combined with its emotionally raw delivery, made it stand out as a deeply personal and introspective project. Tyler distorted the voices of guest artists like Playboi Carti, Charlie Wilson, and Kanye West, seamlessly integrating them into his vision. The contributions became part of the experimental soundscape rather than conventional rap features, helping maintain the album's cohesive avant-garde feel. Tyler's idolization of Pharrell and Nerd, or NERD, where he honors their experimental spirits. Tyler embraced a similar approach, pushing boundaries by blending genres and creating a sonically diverse album that was more focused on emotion than on traditional rap formulas. Alright, so what's at number one then, man? We got something, I feel like it's even from the 80s, you know? I feel like this album is actually from the 80s. Damn. So at number one spot, we've got something from 1987 of rap. But we've got Eric B. and Rakim, Paid in Full. Rakim introduced a new level of sophistication in rapping with his use of internal rhymes, complex vocabulary, and unpredictable rhythms. His style, influenced by jazz and artists like John Coltrane, featured intricate wordplay and syncopation that was far beyond the straightforward, shout-heavy delivery of his peers, like Run DMC. Rakim's cool, relaxed delivery was a stark contrast to the dominant, high-energy style of rappers, such as I said, like Run DMC, like LL Cool J. Its nonchalant, almost conversational flow revolutionized how rappers could approach vocal performance, giving hip-hop a new dimension of style and tone. Tracks like Eric B. is President and I Know You Got Soul incorporated groundbreaking sampling techniques, particularly their use of James Brown and Bobby Bird records. These songs help cement. You just drank cement. These songs help cement sampling as a central creative tool in hip-hop production and would go on to inspire countless producers, including Public Enemy's Bomb Squad. Their album's cover, featuring Eric B. and Rakim and Dapper Dan designed custom jackets, help bridge the line between hip-hop and fashion, which is fitting because I do think that I've heard that a rapper that ended up being like highly noticed as the most like well-dressed, into fashion like rapper was named after Rakim himself, which is A$AP Rocky. Their embrace of luxury brands made an iconic statement about street culture and style, influencing both music and fashion in decades to come. Lines and concepts from Paid in Full were constantly referenced by future generations of rappers. Rakim's famous line, "I take 7 MCs, put them in a line," became legendary and was later quoted by Nas, Eminem, and others, showcasing the album's lasting impact on hip-hop lyricism. So there it is, man. Oh, that's way too close. That's that, man. That's the most innovative rap albums of all time. You know, we've gone from, like, I think the most modern that we had was 2019, possibly, to even, like, 1987. We've gone all time with it, man. We did the top 10. Because if I did way too much, this album wouldn't come out the day that it's supposed to, which predicting and hopefully is Thursday. But that's everything, man. That's cold. That's wait till my next video. And actually, like, engage so I know what's the next one. Comment if you want to comment. Alright. Not too much, though. And that's everything, man. Like, comment, subscribe, out.